Welcome to my garden, to the GinGee GoodEarth show, production 21, director Ginger Lily for the American peoples and international peoples of the world. Again, I welcome you. This is November 2nd, USA Take Love. Today's just a quick program on my collection of America Beautiful newspaper cuttings to help nominate and get my friends and family to realize the importance of the 2020 election. The influencers, like Facebook, this cartoon says, "Hi there, we're your Facebook friends," and you have zillions of people greeting you. I have this lovely poem, The Words of Strength. There are three lessons I would write these words as with a burning pen. In traces of eternal light upon the hearts of men, have hope, though clouds environment now, and gladness have hope, though clouds environ now, and gladness hides her face in scorn. Put them the shadow from thy brow. No night but hath is morn. Have faith, whether thy bark is driven, the calms distort the tempest's mirth. Knows this God rates the busts of heaven, hosts of heaven, this inhabitants of earth, have love, not love alone for one, but man as man thy brother call, and scatter like the circling sun thy charities on all. Thus gave three lessons on thy soul, hope, faith, and love, and thou shalt find strength when life's surges rudest roll, light when thou else wert blind. So I have different things to look at. And this one basically says, is there anything we can agree on between the elephant and the donkey? But let me back up again. And I'll try to, we're on a red wave. Okay, so this was from 2016. And we have the weather squeeze. And the rough road, Trump trade war ahead, moonlight and rose. The surest way to raise your spirits is to drink in the view at the top. Up here everything shines in the moonlight and dances with the stars. The top of the triangle on the U.S. Steel building downtown Pittsburgh. Making out a Christmas list, humbug. Closing job cuts. That's from 2016. And then there's Uncle Sam with the Statue of Liberty, and she's giving him her flaming torch to keep him warm. And of course, my Savior, Jesus Christ. So isn't Jesus Christ Superstar just a wonderful musical performance? To absurdity and beyond. And that's Buzz Lightyear. Space Force. Hopefully Space Force will influence many young and old to investigate space relations, explore the mathematics and the science of the Earth and its cosmos. Bad news, gang. We lost our excuse for lying on the beach all summer. Best job market in years. The class of 2018. It's another cartoon. So, some of the cartoons are Dave at Greenland. This one is, I can't read at my age here. Mother Goose and Grimm, Nancy, and so, looks like Dave. How about Garrison? He has some really great, I bought a lot of his books, Ben Garrison. America's Supreme Court in Bible Prophecy. Then we have the World Trade Center, bill pay, and their firemen are trying to hoist the American flag, and that still hasn't been resolved, and that's why I have this article before and after 9/11, and they have still not resolved that. Well, why do you think the gal from Arkansas decided to be a senator of New York so that she can control anything in the courts and avoid the truth on 9/11? Because we know that was a false flag. And I'm a New Yorker and a Pittsburgher, and 9/11 was a false flag. It was all fabricated. What we have here is a lot of different emblems. The hemlock is the state tree of Pennsylvania, and the grouse, the Pennsylvania grouse. And then we have the Liberty Bell, and the rhododendron. Mountain laurel is the state flower. And I put up the hurricane guide. I am a climate reality project leader, but I'm not anyone that believes in the activist anarchy. I am an ecology teacher on sustainable environment, and I teach beekeeping. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to walk over here. And here's I did a program called Patches for Peace, and brought in the World Trade Center quilt that was made by the survivors of the World Trade Center, and displayed that. And then I put together a Patriot poster that is on faith. I sent this poster to Senator Murtha. And again, the different articles on here you can read at your leisure. Patriotism means the right to disagree. Protesters forget about September 11th. And then I wore this outfit. at the Greensburg County seat a week before Christmas 2002 to protest the war in Iraq, and that and I knew that there were no weapons of mass destruction, and so I tried to advocate for peace and prevent the red, white, and blue armed forces to deciding to go to war. And again, I sent my poster to Senator Murtha, and they used fear of weapons of mass destruction as the main reason for going to war with Iraq. And I didn't believe it, and many of us, family, friends, and veterans, did not believe it either. And the pin I'm wearing is, it's hope. Human optimism, peace eternal. And so I was interviewed, and this article was in City Paper, December of 2002. And you can see the article, and the first line is, and then some of the, let's see, okay. A friend from New Kensington who wishes to remain anonymous showed up in red, white, and blue ensemble of her own design, including a 25-pound beaded headdress and a white banner featuring a peace dove. The all-American spirit, she called the costume, which she had worn for an unrelated art photography project earlier that day on peace and patriotism. So, the one article that I'll read today, and if you want a copy of this poster, you can, email me at gibsongirls@mail.com. So the group holds a vigil for peace, New Kensington. About 100 people held a silent peace vigil Saturday along the Trenton Bridge Road. The vigil was held to protest the impending war with Iraq. The protest was initiated by local concerned citizens and not by any formal organization. One of the organizers, Dr. Daniel Fine of New Kensington, said this is the second vigil the group has held and they plan more. He said protests are becoming more important because tension continues to build. We want to protect and support our troops, Fine said, but the best way to do that is to avoid war. And then we have the hope pins that I handmade, and we passed them out. Solutions. Now, this was my solution to help avert war. Solutions to this war problems: diplomatic action, negotiation over bilateral non-aggressive pacts, disarmament cannot be one-sided, resulting in defenseless small nations against aggressive ones loaded with nuclear power to force a takeover for power, arms, greed, natural resources, and biased absolutist religion. Peace on earth, goodwill to all. Einstein himself denounced nuclear arms because sooner or later, to save face, the imperial power feels compelled to use it. So, who are the imperial power? Well, today we know them as the elitist, deep state cabal members, Marxist, socialist, communist, that are trying to destroy America, and they have plundered America and pilfered America and raped it of its resources. So this is what the 2020 All-American spirit is all about and why it's important to vote. So I wanted to share this with you, and I put this together because I'm very passionate about United States. And I'm going to pan over, I'll show you my honeybee supplies since I'm here. So I teach beekeeping, and this is my display for when I bring groups to teach and learn all about the honeybee. And I wrote a book called Honey for All by Gretchen Schmitt that teaches you beekeeping filled with poetry and prose to help the honeybee. It was written in 2002. My father was an entomologist. Entomology, which is the study of entomology, the study of insects. And you can purchase that book on Wild Trout Lily, Etsy.com, at my storefront on Wild Trout Lily, Etsy.com. So these are my teaching tools, and I have volunteered thousands of hours in helping to encourage the agricultural career of beekeeping. And I guess I have some antiques. Right there is a skep, and that's in the Victorian days. They used skeps to attract the Italian honeybee, and they used to use those to collect honey, but they get soggy and wet outside, and then they get moldy, so they're no longer in use, and they're actually illegal to use in America to avoid botulism. So you must use the man-made hives. Anyway, the book Honey for All, and I have one here, the book Honey for All teaches you the skills, the costs, the liability, and the whole process on beekeeping. So you can get the book at the Etsy.com website. My store name is Wild Trout Lily, and then I also have a lot of Victorian fashions for sale and antiques. It's very small scale. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll pan over. Behind that wreath, my parents were one of the first homes that had a stereo sound system. Both my parents sang and played the piano, but now that stereo behind the wreath is no longer in use. And we had the record player, the stereo record player that played 45, 33 sized records. I know there's one more size. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you and showing my support for the election of Donald J. Trump. Please vote. Coming up on Tuesday, and vote with your heart and your mind. And again, please remember the very first video that I have on GinGee GoodEarth is all about why we should vote, and it also is a song about our presidential president, Donald J. Trump, and I'm accompanied by Billy Rich, who calls Donald J. Trump the General. And it's a really nice video, and it's unedited, and it kind of gives you an idea of the passion in our hearts to vote for these three things that are in this poem, Words of Strength: for hope, for faith, and for love. Of course, prosperity and peace. And I hope this short video on faith and what I've collected and what I've worked on as an American citizen helps you realize how important it is to all of our hearts that we have a hold on our human rights and we keep in our hearts peace, and that hope is human optimism, peace eternal, and not anything but that. Now, this little poem here, A Peaceful World. After years of hostility, dogs and cats finally signed a peace treaty. There's the picture of the treaty. For the first time ever, they were friends. Dogs and cats started dating, and some married. Not everybody honored the treaty. No cats allowed. Dogs have fleas, but most did. It was a very peaceful world. And there's like a little house, and with the dog and the cat, and the sun's out, and it symbolizes peace, prosperity. And I love that new song, Coming Home. I'm coming home. And I think that's what this election represents, that we are a strong human people and we want the best lives for all mankind. Peace and prosperity and love. Have a great day. GinGee GoodEarth, come back and visit. I'll have a lot of great videos to share. And you have a great, peaceful day. Amen.